Precisely regarding this topic is the second headline, the magnicide attempt and the far-right destabilization attempts. However, 7 years later, you have invited the democratic oppositions to participate through the democratic ways of the country. Yes, of course, because we have the obligation to build a stable country. The opposition has their own way of expression. It's public. It's people. For certain periods of time, oppositions has been occupied by the most extremist sectors. For the coup d'etat in 2002, for example, by the extremist sectors in 2014 for the Guarimbas and 2017, and then they were taken by Washington's decision, under the decision of the powers of the United States in 2019 until today, a faction which is growing smaller of opposition sectors by groups outside the Constitution and that aim to carry out coups and call for invasion and interference and very corrupt. No one can forget about Juan Guaidó. It is forbidden to forget Juan Guaidó. Juan Guaidó was an experiment of interference to military occupy Venezuela to justify the economic war against Venezuela and to create a power to eliminate all the constitutionality of the country. Year 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, Juan Guaidó ruled for 5 years. Stupid. Yes, he is stupid, but they put him there. Stupid as Zelensky is, and they put him there. What virtue can Guaidó have? What virtue can Zelensky have? None. They are both stupid agents of the US power to try to harm and occupy countries. In 2023, they take him out to surrender then the command to fascism and extremism, to rehearse a destabilization process because they knew we had presidential elections, and sell a narrative the way that they did, that unfortunately some sectors bought it. Now they are victims of that same narrative that they bought against Venezuela, of the interference narrative. There are people in South America because they are upset because the United States interfere in the judicial powers, in their elections, and in their politics. Full solidarity with these countries that upset and rebel against US interference. But it was the same thing that they did with us. Or am I lying? Am I lying, Celia? I'm not lying. So what we have done is face all these models of intervention. All ways or formulas have been implemented against us, and always in all stages, in every stage. We learned this from Chavez and from a man called Jose Vicente Rangel. We learned from them both. I think that in all stages of this confrontation, geopolitical confrontation against the empire and its representatives here, in all of the stages we have persevered on the path of constitutionality, institutionality, and political dialogue, understanding above all. And I think this is the results that we are seeing now, because from the election of the National Assembly of Governors and now from the mayors, a new nucleus has formed, strong, that we can say is a starting point of a new opposition that hopefully develops and hopefully has democratic vocation and hopefully exercise their positions loyally with peace of the people and the country.